Lancaster, Florida. Let's see. Still have to wear a mask over here. It's the law. They made it the law in this city. Sad because there was only one death for months until the tourists came. Yep. One death in the county for months. Tourists don't want to do social distancing or wear a face mask, unfortunately. They figure once they leave their state where they have to wear it, they don't want to do it in other states and respect the people. I think people should be charged with murder for spreading that. 100%. If you look up history for the Spanish flu, they decided to make handmade masks out of anything they could. Most everything was cotton back then. But they really tried hard, and they had to lock down until they killed it. And if you don't want to lock down until we kill it off, then it would be nice if you would practice social distancing and wear a face mask. Save lives, don't kill people. Pretty day today. 78 degrees already. 9 in the morning. So the rents here have gone up to $1,400 a month minimum for anything, and it's getting really, really wild. I have some friends that applied for a big place here locally at the Heather Lynn. They have like 3 and 4 bedrooms over there, and they applied for a 3-bedroom and paid like the $150 checkup fee, whatever, app fee, whatever you want to call it. And it was supposed to be like $1,000 a month, and then when they approved them, then they said, okay, it's going to be $1,400 a month. That's not what we agreed on before I paid the money for you to do the application fee. And that was really bad. So now they've applied to another one. And with a real estate brokerage in Crestview. And I had to pay a $50 fee this time. And it's been almost an entire week, where if you go to some of these other brokers, it's like a 24-hour turnaround. And it's been almost a week, and they're waiting on this one big place out in Crestview because his girl just got a promotion, and to go work in Crestview, and they've been making arrangements on daycare and stuff like that. So they have a couple kids. They've been together for a while, and so what they do is, if you're not married, which Florida never respected common law marriage. Now somebody said something about they do now, but they never honored that common law marriage thing like a lot of the other southern states do. And so what they do is, when you go to apply for a place for rent, they will claim you as separate people. So every separate person on the lease is supposed to be able to make the full rent 3 times of that. They don't judge it as 2 people together renting a place. And like I say, these people have kids and stuff, and they've been together a long time. And he's like the real breadwinner of the family. This guy worked 2, 3, 4 jobs. He's very money motivated. He's actually a chef at a hospital, and used to be one of my kids' boss. Really nice guy. And so it's really bad, because if the place is, you know, say it's $2,000, each person would have to be able to prove they make $6,000 a month, each person. And I don't think that's quite fair. But I guess that's the way it goes. They want to make sure if somebody leaves, then that they'll be liable for the rent, the single person that takes the place and keeps it or whatever. Oh, I was going to try to go through this light. I can now, though. So it's getting tough. I did look at a nice house in the Tampa area yesterday, and it was supposedly listed with a broker, and they want, like they used to do in California, where they had all these excuses to collect money from you that you'll never see again. A security deposit, cleaning deposit, rent, and all that. So the thing was like $1,100 a month, and they wanted like $4,000 for you to move in. And you know where that's coming from. That's because of the corona thing, because landlords got burned so badly. These people don't understand that if you're staying there and not paying rent, that you owe the money. It's not like the government's paying your way out of it. Even though they gave us orders to sit tight and don't do anything. And businesses were forced to shut down because they couldn't operate, because they weren't able to. For 2 reasons. The business, and because they just weren't safe businesses to have open during the pandemic. So, all those people that sat around not paying rent since March, which I always paid the rent, I'm just getting scammed out of a place because the landlord wants to sell, and it's illegal to put people out right now because of the new order from the president, which covers people that do pay rent. But you owe that rent, and what happens is it's going to ruin your record when you try to rent from somebody, because it shows that you did not pay rent for so many months, or, you know, 6 months, whatever, and they don't want to rent to you. They just don't. Especially if you leave the landlord with a balance. Now in Florida, if they go to evict you, you have to put up the rent to the court till your court hearing. And some of the hearings in some counties are just done by the judge and nobody goes. The judge does it and he decides what he's going to do with it. But like right now, there's no evictions right now here, supposedly. But there's some crooked landlords that'll get away with it. They'll just go there and empty your stuff out. My last landlord was like that. He didn't give a damn. I'd have the sheriffs post your door, and then he would turn around and empty your house out 2 days later into the street. And what are you going to do? You know? He did it all the time. But, yeah, so it's getting interesting. Florida is very strict about your background. If you have a bad legal background, they don't want to rent to you. So that's number one. If you would like to move to Florida, you will pray that you have a good legal background, because it's going to be very difficult for you to rent. They don't care so much about your renter's background in the state of Florida. It's not too bad. But it is in Huntsville, Alabama. Man, I walked around there about $7,000 back in the early 2000s trying to rent anything. And because I owned my own property for years, nobody would rent to me because I had no renter's background. And that sounds kind of lame. I'm just not a big fan of paying some damn money, especially over $100, for them to do their background check, app fee, whatever it is, and you don't get that back if they deny you. It's just, to me, it's like theft. I don't think that's right. I went to one place in Fort Walton a while back, and they wanted to Xerox all my IDs and stuff, and just to look at a place. And I said, well, you know, am I going to get those copies back? Oh, no, we have to keep those on file. I'm like, no, you won't. I'm not doing that. If I'm not taking the place, then you need to be giving my copies of my IDs back. I'm going to go into this market here real fast.